Good morning. Today we are tackling a question I was inspired to answer. She wasn't asking me, she was just kind of asking just very generally, and it inspired me. And I like to answer in video if I think the answer serves more than just her, and of course it does. It's a really good question. And it was from Kari. She was basically talking about why did she experience some of the things she experienced in her life. And she's cute. She's very buoyant, very happy, but then she'll just burst into tears. You know, she's had some difficulties in life, and I can certainly understand that, having had some myself. And one thing, when I would go through dark times, I would fight. And the way I fought was through research. And I answered that question for myself. It was very satisfying. So this is what this video is about. I'm going to take you through the process. It's called the rubber band analogy. And I can't take credit for creating this, because I lifted it from someone that isn't on the planet. Just being honest here, because spirituality takes into consideration, we'll take information from different places. And just as a side note, I think there's parts of the Bible that were channeled and stuff too, so don't freak out about that. I mean, if something resonates with you, it makes sense, take it. So the rubber band analogy, if you want to find out who said that, you can Google it. That's for another time. And remember, what she was talking about was the hard parts of her life, like why the struggle. So I have here written up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, the struggles of life, they're painful for her. Why did this happen? So I wrote, why would a soul pick that? Because it's not you. It's not the person. It's not the personality, you. There's a bigger part of you that has an agenda that's bigger than this one little life that you are aware of. So again, the question, why would even that soul put you through that, so to speak? Well, here's the answer coming. First, I wanted to talk about what that might look like physically. The ups and downs, what that might look like. For me, I'm 45 now. In my early 30s, I kind of got myself so flustered and upset by not understanding my own self that I listened to others that said, you need medication. Okay? So where do you go for medication? You go to a psychiatrist. And you only go there if you want to be medicated. I was not even aware or secure enough in myself to understand that. But you go there and that's what they do, you know. I used to be upset, but I thought, well, you went because I had a bad reaction to the medication. But the purpose was to even out my ups and downs. And he slapped a label on it. And I stopped the medication and all that, and obviously I'm here today talking about it from a different viewpoint, different capacity. I understood it as energy. I knew it back then, and this is how I understand it now. It was fluctuations of energy, because I kept allowing myself to be happy and then pushing it back down. So that's how that might look physically. For Kari, it was a difficult relationship. I know with her mom, she mentions it in public often enough. And it can just be this up, down, up, down. Why is this happening? What the rubber band analogy is saying is that a soul will bring itself back, create a lifetime that is so deep in the darkness it pulls that rubber band back, because the momentum that it creates from all that difficulty, all that struggle to pull back, will propel it more forward than anything else would have. So picture that. Picture that. Like going the distance, as if going the distance was the purpose. You're going to get that. You're going to shoot that arrow that much further when you pull it back into the darkness. You're going to go further than anyone if you exercise that muscle, that strength as a soul to pull that back and then let go, and you see how far you can fly. So that's kind of what I was doing with my moods. I was a little more aware of the up-downs. I was letting the up-down happen. And it looked unhealthy because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand if I just stopped holding myself back, I could be happier. And now, as far as Kari's concerned, she's riding those waves, those up and down, up and down, up and down. They don't have to be so extreme. If she looks at her life differently, she can smooth that out. This is what I did. Mine, again, was more of a mental process inside, and she more had things on the outside upsetting her, making her go up and down, up and down. So that's what it looked like physically. And then I gave you the spiritual explanation about your soul picking that because it has a broader view than you. It might want something out of this incarnation that you don't understand, but you're going to be better for it. You're going to be better for it. If you hang in there and just ride it, it will stop beating yourself up about being in the dark. You will propel yourself, and you will know joys that other people around you don't know, because they weren't living that. They were living a shallow life, not in a bad way, not shallow in a bad way. Just some people don't go into the depths that other people will go. Especially, I have an INFJ playlist. We go into the depths. We go into the darkness because, I think, just because we're curious. It's just part of being a soul. Its soul wants to experience. So here are the answers. Again, the question: why would a soul pick that up and down in energy? However it looks, whether it was me with a diagnosis or Kari with difficulties, why would a soul pick that? Answers: because it can. You know, we're talking about all that is, that part of you that's all that is. You can call it God, whatever you want. It can. That's what it wants to do. It wants to be everything it can be through you. So you're going to pick everything. So first and foremost, because it can. Because it's capable. Why would you pick difficulties unless you could get through it? You're brave and bold for going into the darkness. And I don't believe you would go unless you thought you could get out of it. And you're going to get more out of it. Because it's more expansive. That's part of the answer. You do it because it's more expansive. That arrow is going to cover more ground than most people because you pulled it back so far. Because it can reach higher highs. Yeah. You can touch the sky. For me, it was just about balancing, because when I was super, super happy after being super, super sad, it scared people. And I couldn't find anything wrong with it because it felt so good. But the bad thing that was happening was I was feeling bad about all of it. People would tell me, you're not supposed to be like that, and then I'd feel bad, and then I'd be depressed again. I couldn't get off the roller coaster by listening to everyone else. So that's a process in itself, not really the focus of this video. But it is part of the reason Why would a soul pick that? Why would a soul like Kari's soul, her oversoul, pick Kari to have that? Because she's going to experience more than the average person. So much more. And then she walks away, hopefully after this, knowing that the only reason she experienced it is because she can handle it. Religious people would say, God doesn't give you what you can't handle. It's kind of the same thing. It's you giving it to yourself, your soul giving it to yourself to do. You're going to experience things that people don't experience. And that's all part of being alive and being a conscious, aware of yourself. Is you get to Earth and you say, what can I experience? And so let that be okay. Let that be okay. Just look at yourself and don't compare it to other people, because they're not doing what you're doing. The people that live on the surface, they don't dip their toe in too far like you do, and that's fine too. Okay, I hope that was satisfactory to you. Thanks for listening. Bye.